a wonderful speech, and of course for that Pierre introduction. This is remarkable considering he hasn't had much sleep in the last couple of days, being up for 22 hours the day before. Now, before we go to the questions, Pierre has to leave, so he's going to say a few words. So he's in a hurry; it won't be long.
Thanks very much. They're keeping me on a short leash today. Friends, isn't it great to have a Minister of Citizenship and Immigration just like that one right here? Jason is renowned on Parliament Hill and across Canada for his prodigious mind, his relentless work ethic, and his unshakable, rock-solid convictions, all of which have been on display for us here this morning. I was, in fact, Jason's intern at one time, and I have many fond memories of that summer, but the one that stands out most for me is that when I would get into the office at 8 in the morning, well, maybe it was 8:15, Jason, I would walk into his personal suite, and it's not that he was already there, it was that he would still be there. He would often work literally the entire night, and when you got off the elevator on the 9th floor of the Confederation building, you could hear echoes of Gregorian chants, which he liked to play all night long while he sat at his desk reading. And it is by that method that he filled his mind with all the knowledge that he is now putting in place as a minister. So thank you very much, Jason, for the exceptional work you were doing here today, and thank you for the fact that other than Prime Minister Harper, there is no single human being more responsible for taking our government from minority to majority because of your outreach work. And speaking of citizenship, is there any other place in the world you would rather be a citizen today? Look around you. Look around you in Europe. In Europe, Athens and Rome, once cradles of civilization, have been transformed into cradle-to-grave socialism. Greece, for example, has 165% debt to GDP ratio. That means that for every dollar in economic output in the entire Greek economy, there is $1.65 in government debt. In Italy, it's $1.20. In Ireland and Portugal, it's $1.08. We've already had 4 European economies rescued through international bailout. There are 9 European economies that have been downgraded, and Portuguese and Greek debt are now rated by every single agency at junk status. And next week, 2 very important things will happen. One, there will be an election in Greece to decide whether or not the country will continue to spend money it does not have. And 2, the 20 richest economies in the world will gather their leaders in Mexico for the G20 meeting, where European leaders will ask Canada to be part of a $500 billion international bailout. Now, let's put into perspective what brought this problem in the first place. Through government spending, the indulgences of one become the burden of another. Through government borrowing, the excess of one generation becomes the obligation of the next. And through international bailout, the extravagance of one nation becomes the yoke of another. Everybody takes, nobody makes, indulgence doesn't cost, work doesn't pay, money is free, and money is worthless. That is precisely the socialist mentality that the opposition in our parliament wants to impose on Canada. It's almost as if they look at the debtor nations who are about to fall off the cliff and say, hurry, we have to catch up to them. They literally stand in the House of Commons and list European countries who are enacting policies and then suggest we should be mimicking those policies. That is the choice the Canadians will have in the next election, but more immediately, it is a choice with which our Prime Minister is going to be faced next week. when he is asked to make a Canadian contribution to this in the end, will be a multi-trillion-dollar international bailout. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to report to all of you that Prime Minister Harper has said clearly that Canada will not step up and put its tax dollars to work on Europe's economy until Europe puts its own resources into fixing its own problems. And when we recognize that the problem in the world is a debt crisis, the solution cannot be more debt, but by contrast, the solution is for Canada to be the first among its peers to stop borrowing. You cannot borrow your way out of debt, you must work your way out of debt, and that is why our Economic Action Plan balances our budget and becomes the first country to do so without raising taxes in the entire Western world. Something to be proud of. By balancing our budget, we not only reinforce our own economic foundations to withstand the storms that may come from abroad, but we also set a worldwide example of how to defend yourself against a debt crisis by balancing your budget and paying your own bills. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the agenda that we are moving forward. It would not be possible without a majority Conservative government. It is stormy waters in the world today, but we have a solid captain and the bright light of our ancestors to guide him home. Thank you very much, and we now invite your questions.